Hello Global Talkers, happy Marchintosh. I was able to find a suitable understudy to replace the SE30 on the right, which unfortunately one of the serial ports, or actually both of the serial ports, have failed to function. This meant that while the blue SCSI Wi-Fi connected device was working correctly and the network itself was able to be out on the internet, it meant that the local machines here that were connected via LocalTalk were unable to be serviced. I noticed this first with the image writer that has the image scribbler device in it, that it was no longer visible with the chooser locally on the SE30. However, after the replacement with the ClassicII, I used the same image itself, the same blue SCSI. I was able to move the blue SCSI over to this device, change the startup drive, and it was able to boot and use the exact same functionality as before, as was on the SE30. I will notice that a ClassicII is much more sluggish than an SE30 is, despite its much more recent age. The 16-bit addressing bus certainly makes an effect on this. However, it functions. This meant that I was able to receive printouts from GlobalTalk users on my image writer, of which I received. Thank you very much, everybody. It also meant that my Apple Newton is able to see LocalTalk zones, which is right here, and is able to print to suitably configured laser writer printers out on GlobalTalk, of which I have done this afternoon. The other thing that I was able to do was able to get my other machines, this machine here, and a PowerMac 6166 AV. I was able to get this one working thanks to the help of my friend Britt, who sent me the correct networking cable, and we're able to log on now with to GlobalTalk exclusively via a LocalTalk connection. So it is all going there, even though this device is capable of using Ethernet. I'm not using it. I'm using the LocalTalk connection to access any drive. Right now I'm connected to Ron's machine, and you can see here that he has graciously served out many different applications, of which I'm reviewing and collecting as I wanted to. I did want to try to share this Apple Scribe printer. It's a thermal printer. However, it turns out that you cannot share printers with legacy versions of Mac OS 7. So that'll be something to be investigated at a later date. I'm happy to be able to get all this working on March 29th. There's nothing like a deadline to try to get everything going. I had numerous issues along the way. One of the issues that I was able to suitably fix was that this Power Macintosh 6166 AV, I have a older blue SCSI version 1 on it. I was using this device in order to boot from it, and it would hang upon boot. Now, despite it being the only SCSI device in the chain from the internal device, I had to remove the SCSI terminators from this blue SCSI version 1 in order to make this function. The same image would function correctly with an external blue SCSI version 1 or an external blue SCSI version 2. But with this particular blue SCSI version 1, the termination had to be removed despite the documented necessity to have it running, as it is the only device in the chain, the last device in the chain as well. So this concludes my little GlobalTalk work. I'm very happy to say that everything that I wanted to accomplish was able to be done. It does mean that there's more fixing to be done for in April. I will be taking and recapping this SE30, trying to see if I can get the serial ports to work on it. One key thing about it is I noticed that the sound does not work, which indicates that there are issues with the capacitors, but it is not directly evident to me that the serial port problem is a capacitor issue. So that'll be investigated in the beginning of April. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that everybody has a lovely Marchintosh.